Good afternoon, everybody. It is, almost noon. It's 11:05 a.m. on Wednesday, July 3rd. It's my birthday, and I am just trying to take it easy. Unfortunately, I feel a little down now because I had two big cookies, and I really shouldn't be eating more cookies. I'm not going to have a cake. I'm not into cakes anymore. It's like I'm not a kid anymore. I ate cake because my parents got me cake. That's what you did and do on birthdays. But as an adult, I'm not so impressed by cakes. Cookies are better. And I'm also a little down because my Mac Pro 2013 trash can is a piece of junk. And I should have known that when I purchased it several years ago. Shortly after it was actually released, I got it secondhand. And it should have been a warning sign to me that the person was willing to sell it in practically brand new condition at, $1,000 off, essentially. It should have been a flashing red light because that person apparently knew where this was going, and I did not. Since then, I have not really used this Mac for heavy-duty stuff. Only since I started this channel have I been editing and recording and using high-res DACs and audio and amps and all that stuff. Recently, the USB ports, only four, the USB ports on this Mac have started to not work consistently. There's no fix for it. Mac is out of warranty. There's nothing on forums that would help me, even though many people are complaining about a similar issue over numerous Mac computers, laptops, desktops. And Apple doesn't give two shits. They don't care. There's no fix. There's no thread about, oh, hey, we acknowledge this might be an issue. We're working on a fix. Just hold tight. Nothing. And so I'm a little irritated by this. And what's the point? What's the point of having a Mac Pro if I can't connect things? You misled me, Apple, when you say you make the best products. You certainly don't. You make products. They're not the best. They're pretty costly, though. A lot like audiophile gear, don't you think? Now, today I was watching, and yesterday too, I was watching a couple of videos from this reviewer online on YouTube. I forget his full title. It's Good Guy or Bad Guy, Good Reviews. I think that's what it is, Bad Guy, Good Reviews. And his shtick is that he records from a cell phone on top of his bed, apparently. That's what it looks like to me. He's very angry, very vitriolic, threatens people with violence on a regular basis, and he buys or he gets all sorts of high-end gear which costs thousands and thousands of dollars. He doesn't really explain what things do, nor does he explain how they sound as he's reviewing the product. His reviews they're at least as substantive as Zeos's reviews, which is to say, not very. But he has a large following. And I look at his videos and I say to myself, what do you do that is different? It's the same question I pose to audiophile gear. I look at it and I say, what do you do that is different? At some point, audiophiles have to stop selling things for the sake of selling things. And I'm not talking about manufacturers. No. You see, manufacturers will sell things to sell things because they need to make money. I get that. It's a capitalist system. Of course they're going to sell things to you. And they'll try to sell it every which way they can. And if they can lie to you and get away with it, they will. And they come so close to lying to you. But audiophiles, what's in it for them? Why do they do what they do? Why do they shill and just promote things that are demonstrably not particularly unique? I mean, unless you count the price, which is rather unique. So let's talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about this episode, 4.5 minutes in. I want to talk about how audiophiles are full of crap. I will give you two case examples. The first is the Koss Porta Pro. Now, you may have heard of the Koss Porta Pro. Zeos was gushing about it. Joshua Velour, I think, reviewed it. DMS reviewed it. Metal 571, I think he may have reviewed it. I don't remember. I can barely see what's going on in his video, so I don't know what he did. But if you go online, all these people just gushing and gushing. Oh, the Porta Pros, they're so fantastic. You must buy them. They're amazing. Looks like the 80s came back. I don't want the 80s back. Do you? I don't think the 80s were all that great. But apparently we want to go back to the 80s and buy 80s tech for some strange reason. So if you go on Mastrop's website, you'll find the Porta Pros. And you'll find them for $38. I don't know if Zeos was really shilling for Mastrop's version, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was. But he certainly was pushing this around the time that the Koss Porta Pros came out on Mastrop. And for $38 plus shipping and handling and taxes, so let's just round up to over 40, shall we? Let's just be honest. For about $40 or so, what do you get? Well, let's look at the description, because I am sure that Mastrop did a fantastic job describing to you what these headphones can actually do. You ready? First paragraph. In the 1950s, when rock and roll was sweeping the nation, but headphones were still largely reserved for communication purposes, Koss came along and changed everything by making the first stereo headphones designed specifically for personal music. Since then, the company has continued to bring listeners closer to the music they love, and among their most popular releases was 1984's Porta Pro, an instant hit for its portable, on-ear design and warm, smooth, detailed sound. It's still considered one of the best values in entry-level headphones to this day. And now, it's getting an update from Mastrop X, Porta Pro X. More modern and more durable, with the same light, take-me-anywhere build backed by Koss's lifetime warranty. And if you buy it, you look like this guy, who seems to have just walked out of a 1984 infomercial. Or this guy, who wears the headphone around his neck instead of listening to it. Don't be stupid. Or this guy, who has it held in his hand in folded position, waiting for somebody to walk up to him and say, "Boy, that's a real conversation starter. Tell me what that is." Weighing just 2 ounces, says the second paragraph, these headphones are great for anyone who wants the convenience of earbuds but doesn't like the feeling of wearing something on their ears. Huh? Plus, they can fold in several different configurations and lock for secure compact carry in the included pouch. Right. Engineered for durability, the Porta Pro X has a thicker cable and strain relief on the connector and a more robust Y-split. Common points for failure on the Porta Pro. Additional details. The Porta Pro X's adjustable temporal pads relieve pressure on the ears to keep you comfortable, while its lightweight, open-air cushion design allows you to stay aware of your surroundings without affecting sound quality. Oh, I'm sure. The original American headphone company. If we were to write a history of audio companies in the U.S., Koss would land on its first page. Blah, 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 blah. Specs. Included carrying pouch. Koss's limited lifetime warranty. Is it really limited if it's lifetime? U.S. customers may return or exchange this item in new, unused condition within 30 days of delivery. Shipping, estimated ship date July 5th, 2019, PT, Pacific time. I just went through all this with you and I can't find one damn thing about what these headphones actually do that is unique other than fold. Do you? The only mention about the sound of this headphone is it has a warm, smooth, detailed sound. There's a little bit of contradictory stuff there. You can have warm and smooth, but detailed usually goes away when you have warm and smooth. But that's okay. Mastrop isn't apparently marketing this for audiophiles. That would be ridiculous. They would never. What? Audiophile? That's what it says? Drop Studio Audiophile? This is for audiophiles? Audiophiles are buying this? Audiophiles are shilling this? What does this thing do that is different from any other headphone? Oh, you don't like the earbuds. So would you rather have this thing on the top of your head as an alternative. Earbuds you can put in a pocket. These things, well, you can carry it around like this because, it's the 80s, man. But if you go, and this is the biggest issue for me so far right now. For $40, you get this from Mastrop. And I assume that this is where Zeos was pointing his crowd. But if you go on Amazon, you can get the same thing for $30. $30.89. Exactly the same damn thing. If you buy it slightly used, you get it for $26.83. Now you may say to yourself, it's a difference of a few dollars. What difference does it make? Well, my question is, how come Koss is selling it cheaper on Amazon than on Mastrop, which is supposed to be, let's be honest, which is supposed to be kind of the place to get all your stuff for cheap because you all mass it together. Well, there has to be a difference, right? There must be a difference. Well, maybe. Really? Is there a difference? I don't see a difference. But Mastrop says that they made it more better. Oh, good. They made it more better. That's excellent. I'm sure that Mastrop is absolutely correct in that. So for $40, you get a headphone from 1984 with a non-detachable cable that makes you look like an idiot. And it has sound. That's all you really know. For $40, what does it do that is unique? Nothing. So why is it that audiophiles are shilling this stuff? Why is Zeos shilling this stuff? Shouldn't Zeos' whole position be, I only recommend things that are unique, that are worth it? What is worth it about these headphones? I ask all of you to help me understand. Maybe I'm just missing the point. What is the point? Is there a point? Now, this is just the first example. There's a second example of why audiophiles are terrible people. Generally speaking, you are all audiophiles, I assume. And I'm not calling you terrible people because, first of all, you're on this channel. And second of all, because you're not shilling. But I'll tell you what else is shilling. The Aureolus BA300S. What is that, you ask? Well, that is apparently a portable balanced tube amplifier. It's got 4.4 millimeter balanced input and output current mode operational amplifier diffused output using 2 microtubes to amplify. This is no longer available on Amazon, but you can buy the Japanese version for $1,100. The original went for about $500. If you go on eBay, you'll find it for more than $500, and if you're lucky, less than $500, around $400. It's a tube amplifier, portable. And Bad Guy Good Reviews was talking about this in a video. And he was gushing about it. He goes, oh, yeah, this is really good. This is, slim, and it works really good. But why? What is so unique about it other than the fact that it's slim, right? Well, it's a portable tube amplifier. You can't get that. Sure you can. There are a number of portable tube amplifiers, cheaper portable tube amplifiers. For example, the Little Bear B4. The Little Bear B4 is a fantastic portable tube amplifier. And does it even show up on this page? It probably doesn't. Why would it? Why would it even show up on this page? But it's not balanced. Dude, it's not balanced. The only balanced one is this. That's not true again. You see, there's the Little Bear B4 X. X for balanced. At $100, 1/5 the price of the Aureolus, you get this. Yes, it's made in China. Yes, there's some build issues. Yes, it's not all that pretty to look at. I get it. But if you're all about sound, then why not this instead of the Aureolus? And one thing that you can do with the B4X that you can't do with the Aureolus is that you can change things in there. You unscrew the ports or the screws. You take this thing apart, and then you have immediate access to, if you see those two red things, you have access to the op amps. There are 4 of them in there. You can buy other op amps to change the sound of this. Now, the sound might be slightly different, maybe worse, maybe better according to your ears, but you could do this. And Little Bear, Duke Audio, which is the producer of Little Bear, says these are the op amps that you can try. And they give you a list of them. And so for $100, you get pretty much the same thing that the Aureolus intends to be at 1/5 the price and more functionality and more experimental ability. 1/5. But this is not really an audiophile product. It can't be. Why? Because if you go to one place like Headphonesty, it's a play on words, the mashing of words of headphones and honesty, it doesn't really like it. Why? Let's look at the cons. Audible interference from nearby cell phones. You mean the same type of interference that you'll get with anything, with any electronic device? Okay, let's put it in the cons section. The front window fell out with minimal use. How did you use it? Did you drop it on the floor? Unlabeled and unprofessional tape-covered packaging. I didn't like the packaging. Occasionally, temperamental sockets causes channel cutouts and imbalances. Well, stop messing with it then. Little difference between balanced and unbalanced outputs. That's generally the case. Dual is misspelled dowel, D-A-U-L, on both the board and the case. Right. And that warranted 2.5 stars. Those are the reasons to give this headphone amplifier 2.5 stars. But look at the pros that they put down. It's a portable tube amp. How cool is that? Quality parts list. Socketed op amps allow for easy op amp rolling, right? Surprisingly high quality 3.5mm to 3.5mm input cable. Balanced and unbalanced outputs. The pros seem as if they should dramatically outdo the cons. And yet, this place says, 2.5 stars. It's not that good. It's not that good. It's not a high-end thing. Doesn't have a real name recognition. Why should we give it 2.5 stars? It's so stupid. I want to spend $500. Look at this. Now, look, I'm exaggerating to a great degree. I don't know anything about bad guy good reviews. He's somewhat entertaining. Just like Zeos is somewhat entertaining. But they don't do anything that's different. Just like a lot of audiophile, high-end, highly priced audiophile gear. Yes, they look better. Yes, they may have slightly better build quality. But it's not that easy to get those products. The price alone is a drawback, but it's not easy to find those products for the average person. Hardly are they available on eBay. And when they are, they're being sold for astronomical prices. And so, who are these audiophiles kidding? It's like a big circle jerk. Oh, that's all they're doing. They're standing around and pleasing each other. And the rest of us, the people who really want to figure out what sound is, want to enjoy the music, and want to explore this hobby, are constantly pushed in the wrong direction. We're misled. We're lied to. Not necessarily by the manufacturers, but by the people who use the products themselves. Just like with my 2013 trash can Mac Pro, which is now basically a trash can. Sometimes paying for more doesn't really get you more. And the name doesn't mean a whole lot. Sometimes a cheaper product from a less known company is in fact the better product. I don't have the B4X yet. It is in my shopping cart on Amazon. It will be purchased. If for nothing else, and because everybody else seems to hate it, there must be something to it. I strongly believe that when audiophiles rage against something, it must have some great redeeming value. Because audiophiles like to hear themselves talk, and they love beating down on competitors to things that they've already purchased. Or, secondly, they tend to really like putting down things that are cheap. Oh, yes, every once in a while you run into somebody that says, this cheap thing is so much better than this expensive thing. and then people will go gaga over it. For example, like the Porta Pro. This is only $31 basically. $31, and on Mass Drop it's $40. You must buy it. But they can't explain to you why you should buy it. What is so unique? Well, there's nothing unique about the Porta Pros other than the fact that they fold. Big fucking deal. Excuse my language. There's nothing unique about the Audiophiles or anything similarly priced at $500. Because there's an alternative available for $100 that does more, that provides more. So I ask you, is it possible that audiophiles are full of crap? That we have all been led down the wrong road? That we have constantly been we are constantly being told that you must buy this. You have to buy the Neumanns. They're so fantastic. You have to buy the DT1770. It's so good. You have to get the Audiophiles. It's the greatest. You have to get this. You have to get that. You have to get this. You must buy. Keep buying. Because if you don't, the whole audiophile community will just fall apart. It's easy. Obviously, it's easy to just turn off those videos and not watch them, not go to those forums, and not waste your time. But if this is a hobby, then you want to become immersed in it. That's the whole point of having a hobby. Everybody needs one, I think. And audio is a great hobby because it's so personal, it's so inviting, it's so you. You get to make of it whatever you want. You can put as little or as much of it into your life, as with any hobby. But when you have such a high bar, such a hindrance to getting into it, and you're constantly feeling as if what you have is less than what it should be, does that really want to make you keep investing in a hobby? Or does that kind of lead you away from it? Does that make you want to put yourself more into it and learn more about it? Or does that make you more scared about it and make you want to give up? I don't know. The more I get into it, the more I realize audiophiles are full of crap. The more I get into it, the more reviews I've watched, the more I realize audiophiles are full of crap. The more videos that I see about these products with 5-minute explanations, the more I realize that audiophiles are full of crap. Don't be an audiophile. Be you. Don't buy things just to buy them. Be you. But you gotta go someplace where you can find the truth. And it's getting so difficult to find truth these days. I'm not talking about politics, but I'm just expressing myself. It's hard to find truth. It's hard to find honest reviews, honest discussions, honest opinions. Because so many times people have their own particular agendas, and it's hard to find out what those agendas are. Well, I don't want to end this on a sad note on my birthday. I do want to say that if you are looking for a portable tube amplifier, I cannot recommend the Little Bear B4 highly enough. I actually have the original version. I have this one, the one that goes for $70. It's really good. You can change the tubes in there. It doesn't have any changeable op amps, but it does have changeable tubes. I think it's soldered on, so if you know how to solder, you can do that. You can learn how to solder, and for $70, it's not so bad, right? You can just watch some videos and learn and really get into it, and you can experiment. And you can really make this thing yours. So I recommend the Little Bear. I use it often, and it does change the sound signature, and you can't really put it into words because it's so different. It's hard to put into words because the changes it makes are not readily apparent. It smooths things out and adds a bit of a muddiness, but not a whole lot. It's just enough to give thin recordings a bit more substance to them. And really, if you're looking to experiment, which is what this whole hobby is supposed to be about, experimenting to find what works for you, then getting the cheaper stuff every once in a while is better than saving up money for a $500 product that is not sold anymore. Or saving up money for a pair of headphones like the Porta Pros that don't do anything unique. Wasting your money on that. Or buying the Neumann NDH20, which, frankly, to be honest, isn't worth their price. Let's all stop shilling, and let's just all be more reasonable if we can. Thank you so much for listening. Not a review video, obviously. I may upload a review video as soon as I get my frustrations out, because I still got to figure out what to do with my computer. I don't know what to do. And if it's a random flux of which amplifier and which DAC I can use whenever my Mac decides to recognize it, it's going to be a problem. So if anybody has a solution, if you run into this sort of issue before and you think you know how to solve it, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just I'll take the Mac Pro outside and beat it with the Neumanns. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.